Well, this is our Chandler duplex head here. This is a 2.5-inch model. We just went to our extent of our travel there, and we had a mishap, and we got something crunchy in here because we're not getting any action here. So we're gonna pull this apart and see what we need to. When we originally got this thing 20-something years ago, it was 100% in a basket case. Look at that. We broke the lead screw itself. Broke that right off. Alright, that's going to be a toughie to build. That looks like 40-something threads per inch. I made that nut 20 years ago and I thought it would be the thing that goes, but evidently it's not. I did a good job. Alright, let's pull the other side off here. If we can find a wrench here. Alright. There's a little set screw in there. There's a little ball detent, and that's what shifts this back and forth. Now I don't know if I made that, but I definitely made that little button on there so I could pull it in and out. I don't know if that comes out that way or not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pull that worm gear out of there. Alright, so I'm gonna have to unscrew the head. Lock it down in here. Put it in the lowest gear. Get a large crescent wrench there. I wouldn't have known how one of these came apart if I didn't have the thing given to me in a box. It's, you know, I don't know. I think I gave a couple $100 for this thing. Alright. Alright, well, we got to get it in the bench and we got to start pulling this thing apart so we can get, we got to get that worm gear. Still looks pretty good. But it won't come out till we get the worm, and then the ring gear will be able to slip past there. We can get it out, and we got to start making a shaft. Otherwise, we're dead in the water without this boring head for most jobs. All right, we threw this head into the vise here so we can pull this off. We got that cap loose. This basically holds the threads, and then this is a little screw-in brake, friction brake, that just pushes against the ring there. This ring here is what turns that gear. That looks good. Alright, here's the worm gear. There we go. Alright, now we should be able to pull this out. Alright, there's that ring there. Now this has got to come apart here, and I think that taps out that way. So I'm going to screw this in and then tap it lightly, and I should be able to get that section out of there. Just want to make sure there's no set screws or nothing here. Okay, we blew some air in here, and that opening right there actually shows us that there's a set screw in there, and that's got to be holding the last section of this shaft in here. Let's see if this is the size here. No, next one down. Okay. we're gonna have to put it in the vise. All right, we set that up and we drilled that set screw out of there because we couldn't get it loose, and it was bound on the side because of the twisting action. It was probably locked in there pretty good, and the ring gear here still in real good shape. And there's the busted in of our lead screw. Alright, we're going to unscrew that out of that nut, and then we're going to start making a new lead screw. How about super glue? I don't know. She's hardened. We're going to go hunt up either a piece of tool steel or a piece of 8620. If we got tool steel, we're going to use tool steel. Now, you're asking, hey, how are we going to get that in there? We could modify this in to actually have a grade 8 socket head attached to the end so that we can have this control. Everything else pretty well just straightforward. It is tiny, but we can do it. Let's get started. This is just a tracer path. See if we get 40, you know, this is 40 threads per inch. Okay, this is about as close as I can get with a camera, and we'll see, can we make a difference with a magnifying glass. Now, kind of hard to tell. Still just a tiny bit of root on the top. I can't rotate it because it's locked in there. But you can see we're almost there. That's 2 cuts, 5/1000 each. We're going to take like a 2/1000 cut now. See how we do. Here we go. This is probably the finest thread I've ever turned in this lathe. That's what we wanted. We wanted to stop it right at the blue. See if we can get in there. Well, it looks some clean. Let's try the nut. You know, I think I'm gonna make one more pass. $1,000 per side. The only way that I'm getting it with that insert right there is because I took it over to the grinder by hand, and I took off from this side until I had 0 flat on the end of that insert there. It was a good insert, but it wasn't a brand spanking new one there. I figured I'd make the test run on a slightly used one. No play. Okay, I'm satisfied with creating threads there. we can move on to the next step, and that's cut it off the length and turn the other end. This is the new one here. We got done turning this end here, putting a flat on, just like that flat that's on that one. And we're going to be Loctite, removable Loctite Allen bolts into the end of it, because we know we will wear out that hex. They specifically create this one with an extra deep socket, and we're just going to have to live with a shallow one. Right now we're getting ready, we're going to pull that out, and we're going to heat treat this piece of 4140. That's what we ended up finding. We found a 5/8, which was that diameter right there. Exactly what it needed to be. And here we go. Alright, we're going for a real light rev. We don't need to be up there. There we go. Not quite as hard, but I think I can live with that. It just has some hardness there. Alright, go wire wheel it, we'll blow it off, and we'll start assembling. Now we've went ahead and we got our nut on here, and we played around and we've tightened this adjustment right here. And I was wrong, I didn't make this 20 years ago. I remember now the nut was wiped out, and I set it up very similar to how I'm doing now. And I brought it in, and I kind of hand worked until I got good threads in there. And evidently, if this locks up and breaks the shaft, I did a pretty good job on my threads. It just kind of brought back a little flashback here. So that's basically what I've been doing, is going ahead, running this back and forth, and ensuring that I have a good fit. All right, so this is all set. Now what we're going to do is, this is going to be, we need to be able to stick up our Allen in here and adjust our pouring bar back and forth. And this is how it is. So we did lose the real nice wrench piece that they got, and I don't want it to be 100% permanent, so I'm putting it in with removable Loctite, but I do want it to stay put. Alright, so there's our adjustment in. And our nut, we got our flat. That thread's already checked out, we're doing good. Let's go install it. Oh, we're back to operation, and the thing's running pretty smooth, but we did have more damage than just a broken screw there yesterday. We also found the Babbitt bearing that supports the thrust of that screw came dislodged, and we had to relocate it. We have several things that we really need to get back to and repair on this thing, but we got it functioning now. We get the job done, and that's the name of the game today.